Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Thanks for checking in, watching as always on YouTube TV, listening on Sirius XM channel 158, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, or any of our great affiliates across the country. Coming up this hour in 15 minutes, we'll get to tonight's playoff action on the betting board. Bottom of the hour, tons of games to come yet in Major League Baseball. And right now we head out to the Progressive Guest Line, talk some golf as Wes Reynolds joins the program, does his weekly write-ups at vsin.com. Follow him on X at Wes Reynolds1. Hey, Wes, good afternoon. Thanks for the time today. How are you?
I'm well, guys. Good to be with you.
Yep. So when you get into this tournament, the Truist at Quail Hollow, and you look at overall the experience here, Rory has won 4 times in the past. Incredible. And he's at the top of the odds board without Scotty Scheffler in the event this week. Are you approaching it from the winner without markets, or are you just going to go full steam ahead and say, I don't care, I'll beat Rory without that involved?
Yeah, Mitch, I just went with the regular market. Okay. I certainly understand why people would go with the without, considering that Rory has dominated, like you said. It's his birthday week, so maybe the rust won't matter, considering he hadn't teed it up since the Masters. And I'm probably a big idiot for not betting Cameron Young again like last week. You know, I should just bet this guy every time because he's the guy I think maybe I have figured out this season. I'm trying to figure out the rest of the tour, but Cameron Young has been my winners so far this year. But looking past those two guys, but I'm not going too far down the board because this is now an elevated event and has been for the last couple of years. So if you look at the winners' history, you'll see some real bombs that have won this event, but that's just when it was the Wells Fargo, when it was just a regular PGA Tour event. It wasn't a signature event. So it's really hard to look for complete and total bombs in this event.
Okay. So you're not on Cam Young, I'm guessing just based because the number now is cut where it's been in previous tournaments for him.
Yeah, pretty much. You still see for the PGA Championship at Aronimink next week, he's still in the mid-teens. I've seen some 16-1s and whatnot out there. I know that's a lot worse number than you could have got at the beginning of the year, but that's still a pretty fair number, I think, considering the fact that some markets still have him priced below Rahm and DeChambeau. And I think that that's obviously a big mistake right now, considering maybe where those guys' heads are at in terms of where their next employment is going to be if that tour goes away.
Yeah, no kidding. Mm-hmm. So Xander Schauffele, the runner-up at this event, the last 2 times it was at Quail Hollow, and he is third on the odds board around plus 1125. Is that where you're going to start your portfolio this week? Okay.
Yeah, it is, Mitch. 4 top 10s in his last 6 starts. And you mentioned twice the runner-up here. Actually, the last time the Truist has been held at Quail Hollow, 23 and 24. And all the other elite guys have kind of won this season. There's been a clear separation with the top 4 with Scotty, Rory, Matt Fitzpatrick, Cameron Young. But this is the time of year where Xander usually has the most success. Despite the fact that he's a San Diego guy, he never seems to win on the West Coast swing. He wins most of his events in the spring or into the summer. 10 PGA Tour victories altogether. 9 of them have come in the spring or later in the season. So Xander, I think, has kind of been on that precipice of really getting through. And then obviously, your derivative market, like your placement market, your top 10 automatic bet, I think, this week on Xander if you're not getting there on the outright.
All right. How about here at Circa, 45-1, 44? Ricky Fowler?
Ricky's been playing better golf of late. I know he hadn't been in contention a lot, but a couple straight top 10 finishes, T9 last week at Doral. He's trying to improve that world golf ranking. He's 52nd right now, so he'd be inside the number, but you got to be inside the top 60, I think, from about 2 weeks from now to get into the U.S. Open. Keep in mind, he missed the Masters. That's why he played the Valero the week before. 14 years ago, he won his first PGA Tour event right here at Quail Hollow and has been putting together solid golf. And this wouldn't be a surprise if you see him on the leaderboard. He has played very well at this course, despite the fact that he's not as long off the tee as some of the other guys. And this is a 7,600-yard course. So, he can still get it out there, though. And I'm trusting Ricky. I think he's in a good frame of mind. He's starting to put together consistent finishes.
Okay. How do you like Obear this week? Around 18-1.
Yeah, I think I've got a lot of company. He is very popular this week, and I think for good reason. 4 top fives last 5 starts. He did not play at Doral last week, which kind of surprised me. I was like, man, that guy would seemingly fit that course, but I think he's got the talent really to fit any course. And he's won on big, long courses before. Remember, he won the Genesis when it was held at Torrey Pines last year. And I think despite the fact that that's not really a tree line course out there in San Diego, there is a strong correlation simply because of the length, simply because it's so driver heavy off the tee. Like, this is not a club down type of course. So you look at the distance, and Ludwig is right up there, top 10, top 15 in this field, driving distance in terms of strokes gained off the tee. He's really been solid. It's just getting to that Sunday and being able to finish it off, which he wasn't able to do at the Players.
How about 2 guys in the 50 to 55 to 1 range, please?
Yeah, Kurt Kitayama, who overcame a slow start at Doral last week. He was 66 out of 72 players in Miami, rallied and finished T9, number 4 in ball striking on the PGA Tour, number 9 in total driving. We know he's always been a bomber, the former UNLV player, but now he's got a little bit of accuracy. And Kurt Kitayama starting to put together some really quality finishes in all these elevated events. Nikolai Højgaard as well, 55 to 1. Finished second to Gary Woodland in Houston when Woodland kind of ran away and hid in that Sunday final round. Nikolai last week, second in distance at Doral, 6 for strokes gained off the tee. I think he'll really take to this course where he could just use his best weapon, which is the driver.
Very good. Wes Reynolds, our guest here on the Progressive Guest Line. Follow him on X at Wes Reynolds 1. Also, one of the hosts on our very popular podcast here at VSiN called Long Shots. They break down events on the PGA Tour every single week. So there you go with your outrights for this week at the Truist. NBA tonight, a couple of games on the board. Did you do anything with this Knicks-Sixers game after we heard many hours ago this morning that Embiid was not going to be playing?
Yeah, I did, and I liked the Sixers originally just because I felt it was kind of the perfect storm for the Knicks on Monday night, right? Philly just came off a Game 7 on Saturday, 1 day of rest, and you could tell the energy just wasn't there early, and the energy was there with the Knicks, and they blew them out. But I think the way to approach this now that the number has moved, I would look first half, and you're getting some 6.5s. I don't know if a 7 pops, but you've been reading the same stuff I've been reading. It's all Knicks money, seemingly, that everybody's all aboard the Knicks right now. And when that happens, that concerns me. I like Philly in the first half plus 6.5. And I think if you want to bet against the Knicks, but you're a little gun shy betting the Sixers on the spread without Embiid, I think you could look at Knicks team total under, I think I'm seeing 112.5 right now. And I know the Knicks have scored 403 points in the last 3 games, the last 2 at Atlanta, and then, of course, Monday night. But I think you're getting some shooting regression here with this team tonight. So 112.5 still looked a little bit high to me.
Yeah, 63% from the floor last game. And what was it, 51% from 3? Okay.
And we saw that with Boston, too, in the first round. Remember when they blew the Sixers out by 30?
Yep.
And then the second game, the shooting kind of dissipated a little bit and Philly was able to bounce back. Like, this is a team that a lot of people were given a chance to win this series. And now it's like, okay, Embiid's out. And I mean, the guy misses a ton of games. So they're obviously better with him, but they've played without him enough, I think. So that's why I'm kind of shortening the game here and looking at first half plus 6.5.
Wes, what about the second game tonight then? Anything here for you with the opening number right after the game on Monday night? As soon as San Antonio lost, they opened up 10.5 at DraftKings. Circa opened up 9. So I was wondering where this number was going to go. And then it just, after a day and a half or so, money on San Antonio went back to 10.5 before this game tips off tonight now.
Yeah, and I even saw the Spurs series right after that game, like as low as 175, and now you're seeing 210, 215. I do think this is a bounce back for San Antonio, but the way I think I'm going to attack it is wait until Ant-Man is ruled in. He's listed as questionable, but he apparently was at shoot-around, did go 25 minutes in game number 1, so I would think he's going to play, but maybe wait to see if you get a little tick up with him ruled in, and then go team total under here. I think with Minnesota, because what we saw, and obviously game 1 went way under the total. Minnesota only had 69 points after the third quarter, and they got 35 in the fourth. So that kind of inflates the number because they went a little more small ball. Rudy didn't play a lot in the fourth quarter. I think both these teams guard. Like Denver didn't guard against Minnesota in the first series. San Antonio really guards. I know they're trying to make that goaltending thing where it's like, Wemby's goaltending all the time and it's not being called. So we'll see if the officials use that as a point of emphasis tonight, or whether it's just, okay, coaches working the referees in between games, and if the officials respond to it. But I think Minnesota under the team total tonight once Ant-Man is ruled in. Desanmu, by the way, also looks like he is going to be back tonight for Minnesota.
Yeah. Well, you like to play a lot of player props as well, and you put up a lot of picks at the picks page at vsin.com. Have you done anything with Wemby's block prop based on what you were saying? It's 4.5. And that juice is all over when you look at different books. So you can basically find plus money on the over and maybe a little bit of like around even money on the under if you wanted to.
I have not, but I do like a player prop in the first game. And it's one I got to learn from because I lost on it the other night. And that's Josh Hart over rebounds and assists. I believe I'm seeing 13.5 right now because I tried to do the points, the rebounds, and the assists. But Josh Hart, keep in mind, he's the fifth option on the floor with the starters. So his points will come and go. Like, they left him open for a lot of corner threes on Monday night, and he just didn't hit them. And he only ended up with 8 points. And he probably would have went over that 24.5 prof if the game wasn't such a blowout and almost a 40-some point deficit at one point. But the rebounds and the assists, I think, are more trustworthy for Josh Hart if you're playing props. So that's what I'm going to do for the first game tonight.
Very good. Follow Wes on X, again, at Wes Reynolds 1. You can read them every week with the PGA breakdowns at vsin.com. And again, one of the hosts on the very popular podcast here at VSiN called Long Shots. Wes, thank you. Best of luck tonight and this week. We appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, fellas. Appreciate being on.
Yep.
Thank you.
And we'll get into tonight's other playoff action. Teams that exploded scoring points in the previous game are only 24% in the spots. It's 2015. I'll give you the details on that next on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Let me get your attention real quick, podcast listeners. I've got something for you that almost feels too good to be true. First, credit where credit's due. If you're listening to this podcast, you're already leveling up your betting game. You're riding along with our best bets and top angles. And when there's a good game on, you're getting involved with a few props and alt markets as well. There's one more layer if you really want to step things up, and that's VSiN Pro. I've mentioned it before, but things are only getting better for our pro subscribers. We just rolled out our MLB prop projections, breaking down some of the best edges across strikeouts, hits, home runs, and more. And that's on top of everything else pro subscribers already get, including public betting splits, expert picks, and betting guides across the sports calendar. If you haven't tried it yet, stop sleeping on it. You can get your first month just $9.99 or save big with promo code POD26 on the annual subscription. Hit the link in the description and start cashing in with VSiN Pro. All right, back to the show.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
You can always tweet the show at VSiN Live, at Mitch Moss Radio, at Paulie Howard. This is from Paul on X. Uh-oh, is that gone? Is that maybe a 3-run shot? That's to the wall, to the track.
WTP.
That's going to be out. Paul says, don't be too hasty to give the Mariners a win. Spire and Brash are on the 15-day IL. Munoz is getting the day off. It's now 2-1 as the Braves got a run across here in the top of the 8th. They had runners on the corners. And now there is one out after, was that Dominic Smith who took one all the way to the track there?
Plus 240 in play.
Yep.
4.5 the total.
Might be juicy.
Mm-hmm.
I think I might have to get involved.
Hey, Paul. Sure. Getting at the mound. You on the Phillies again? Ride the Phillies train?
Well, I want to be on
Yankees too?
I want to be on Wheeler.
Yeah.
Well, hold off here because I want to tease this. I want to tease it for the next 10 minutes. I got a Cy Young bet to maybe look at, Paulie.
Okay.
Based on the Scooble news.
Yes.
That I want to bring up.
Big. And I like what Derek Stevens said yesterday. I mean, this train could get off the tracks, and you don't want to be like the Angels with Ohtani. I mean, they might fall out of the race.
Oh, what did he say yet? Did he say trade him?
Yeah. I mean, if this is going to be a 2-month injury, and his bet, their starters have 14 outs the last 3 days. Now, someone's got to get hot in that division.
And by the way, Flaherty goes tonight.
Yeah.
Probably won't go well for him either. He's been a disaster. Yes. Mm-hmm. But now what are you going to get for Scooble compared to 48 hours ago? Oh,
well, but it's not. I mean, it's okay. So he misses a month or 2 months. I don't know if you trust Schilling, but Schilling said not that big of a deal. But still, if you're going to say, I can't let him walk, I'll get something for him and do that at the deadline. You might be out of it by then, the way things are going.
All right, we'll expand on baseball coming up in about 15 minutes here on the program. The playoff action that we have going on tonight again, the Sixers taking on the Knicks. The unfortunate news for Philadelphia, Joel Embiid is ruled out, or he was ruled out many hours ago for this game. The point spread went from about 8 to 10.5, 7.5 to 10.5. So how many points is he really worth to the number overall? I will tell you that in the 4 games that they played this year in the regular season, Embiid did not play in 2 of them. Philadelphia won that first game on December 19th, 116 to 107. Maxey was great, had 30. I expect a bounce back from him tonight. This is a guy you want to keep your eye on for sure. Andre Drummond had 14 and 13 in that game. And when Embiid did not play this year, he turned into a rebounding machine. He's 8.5 tonight, over his even money, or maybe even a little bit better than that. But Towns in that game had 21 and 11, and Mitchell Robinson had 21 and 16. The second time that Embiid did not play was February 11th. The Knicks killed them 138 to 89. Towns in that game had 21, 11, and 5, and Robinson had 11 and 6.
He's 4-1 most rebounds, game leaders.
Well, do you want to do 40 to 1? How about 40 to 1 on Cat for a triple-double again?
Yeah, I'm stronger on the Cat props now. I mean, this has been the gift that keeps on giving, and the ladder, these suckers. He still got to 6 in the last game, and he only played 20 minutes in foul trouble and a blowout. So, again, how they've changed things, and he's been more of a facilitator. This has been awesome, and we know our bread is buttered. Let's come back with that, with Cat over assists. And you're looking at Drummond, I'm looking at Paul George. Now, the points have gone up from 15.5 to 18.5 with the Embiid news, but he scored 15 or more, 16 of the last 19, and 7 games in a row he's hit at least 2 threes. 6 of them he's hit at least 3 threes. And I like what Brian Mahoney said with us Monday, that you're surprised when he misses. So I think Paul George can have a big game tonight as well, and I think the Sixers will make this interesting. Hard to go against the Knicks. They've been so good. Yeah. They've been awesome and blowing people out and set an NBA record. But I just think I've seen this too many times where a team takes the opponent lightly, and next thing you know, well, we got a close game here in the fourth quarter, folks.
Yeah. Here's exactly how good the Knicks have been. Again, they have won 3 straight playoff games by 25-plus points. They have won... now my computer's taking a dump on me. That's great. They have won by a combined score of 135 points over their last 4 games. The last 3 games, by the way, the point margin is plus 119, largest ever in a 3-game stretch in NBA history in the playoffs. And there's another base hit by the Braves. So this thing is now 2 outs. Did the guy get picked off? Guy must have got picked off. There's only 1 runner on now.
Oh, okay.
They have the number 2 offensive rating in the playoffs behind Oklahoma City, and the number 2 defensive rating in the playoffs behind Detroit. But here's the problem. I do agree with Wes that this is now a 4-game sample size, but can they really shoot anything close to 63% from the floor and 51.5% from downtown again?
If the Sixers don't get back on defense, their transition defense sucked. There was too many easy baskets. But it also goes back to, unlike the Celtics, let's attack the rim and let's penetrate and let's get to the free throw line. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, Brunson's been awesome, but when you got Bridges and other guys knocking down shots and Grand Theft Alvarado, bench was good. McBride can score. Certainly, I don't think the Sixers are great defensively, and you got a big loss with the big man out.
Well, I'm glad you brought up Alvarado, by the way. He had 26 in that 1 game when Embiid did not play. That was in
big edge they have. Other than Grimes, you don't have much.
Yeah, you're not going to get much. No.
And they didn't do much in the first round as far as the bench points.
How would they like to have McCain coming off the bench now?
Oh, yes. Again, everything OKC touches.
Did he not tie for the game lead in threes last night?
I think he wasn't listed. I think he won it.
Yeah,
I think he had the most threes.
It's incredible. I couldn't even imagine what the number would have been.
No kidding.
If he was available.
I know.
Maxey's prod tonight, points, rebounds, and assists is 37.5. He scored 13 points in 27. He'll bounce back.
Yep. He zoned them. Yep.
And the other one then, San Antonio, this is, again, bumped up to 10.5 now at some books. After an outright loss this year, 17-5 straight up, 15-7 ATS. And if you go back, cut it down from December 1st on, 14-3 straight up, 12-5 ATS. They've won and covered 9 straight after a loss. The first team to do that in 2 years in the NBA. There's also this. When a home favorite loses game 1, they bounce back in game 2 big time in the first quarter. This is since 2021. 19-3 straight up in the first quarter, 14-8 ATS. They're laying 3.5 tonight in the first quarter.
Yep. Tough loss in game one. And Spurs got to bounce back. Concerned about Minnesota maybe saying, okay, we got the split mission accomplished. But Wemby can't shoot that many threes. And also, I don't expect Wemby and Fox to combine 0 for 12 from 3 again as well.
I would say unlikely.
But 28% from 3 in game one, 42% from 3 in the Portland series. And Minnesota held Denver to 30% from 3. But they're going to get great looks. Got to knock them down. And I expect more. Wemby had an interesting quote about how he misused his energy and how he was so focused and driven defensively, and he set the record for blocks.
I think you could kind of tell that when it was unfolding the game.
And he didn't have it on the offensive end. And why that may be why he settled and shot so many threes. You're 0 of 8. I mean, come on. 7-4, attack the rack. But again, the guy I want to call out again is Fox. Love the guy in Sacramento on a max deal. You wanted to go here. This is what you wanted.
Right.
You got the big contract. You're in a great situation. You got to play better. And you've got to deliver here because you're a big favorite to win this series. And you should be able to win this series now, too, with Minnesota down key guys and several injuries.
Well, how many minutes are we going to get from Terrence Shannon tonight? Because I'm looking for like props out of him and Dosunmu. Like Desumu's points, rebounds, and assists tonight is 17.5 overall. I would expect if he's good to go, like he's going to be a big contributor here for the Timberwolves tonight and play a bunch of minutes. But because of his return, like how much does that chop into Terrence Shannon, how much he's going to be on the court?
Yeah. Also, Conley, how much run he's going to get, because that was ridiculous. They left him wide open in game one, and he was 4 of 7 from 3. So if you ladder Conley again, I mean, you're talking like big prices here. 4, 5, 6 to 1, 10 points,
sure,
3 threes, 4 threes. He can do that again. And that's a guy you can trust, and he's a veteran. If you're going to, I don't care who it is, you can't leave him wide open and beg him to shoot, and he made him pay.
What do you make of Shannon? So I'm looking like at 2 or 3 different books that has Shannon's points prop up. That's it. So they're very slow to release his number tonight, but I'm seeing 9.5 for the points. And he was not afraid, and he talked trash, and he backed it up, and he said it after the game. He's like, I'm going to keep coming at Wemby. He's like, he blocked me a couple times, but he has to block me every single time.
If they're down big, I think Finch will play him too and keep him in as well.
Yeah, you suddenly can't just go from having that guy being a key guy to like getting 4 minutes tonight. That's a huge mistake in my opinion.
All the money brought to you by Francetic Tax Resolution, the best part of betting most people don't think about until it's too late. The IRS taxes your wins, and if something's off, those letters start showing up fast. And Paul has spent over 20 years helping gamblers fix tax issues and deal directly with the IRS. He's offering a free gambler tax problem consultation so you can understand where you stand and what to do next. 262-752-6992 or go to gamblertaxhelp.com, gamblertaxhelp.com.
What do you think of the shot by Randall there at the very end of that game?
Horrific. They're lucky.
Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I'd like to have seen the timeout, though, even though they got a great look.
Oh, it was a great look.
It was a great look.
Yep.
But it's still, I'd like to get my puppies organized there, too, after the miss. In real time when that happened, I'm like, guys, what's this possession going to turn into? And it was clogged toilet.
The end result was that shot from Randall. I'm like, oh, my Lord.
Yeah.
What are we doing here? Up next, I will give you one name to consider adding for the AL Cy Young. The Cubs became the first team in the modern era to pull this off over a 20-game span, but they had more bad news in the last 30 minutes. We'll tell you that breaking news coming up next here on VSiN.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Well, Paul, do you want the good news or the bad news first with the Chicago Cubs?
Good.
The good news is this. Over their last 20 games, they've won 17 times. 10 of those via comeback. 9 wins after allowing the first run. 6 one-run wins. 4 walk-offs. 4 wins after trailing in the 8th or later. 3 extra inning wins. OptaStats on X. No other Major League Baseball team in the modern era has done that over any 20-game span.
Yeah.
It's every day. The live betting opportunities with this team, you're on a private island right now on vacation if you're betting them like that.
Longest home winning streak in 90 years if they win tonight. $1.70. Give me the bad.
tweet from Bob Nightingale, who has covered baseball for a long time. The red-hot Chicago Cubs down another starter with left-hander Matthew Boyd scheduled to undergo surgery to repair meniscus in his left knee. There's no timetable for his return. How many guys is that now? Like, it feels like the staff anyway has been hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another, they're going to have to make a move at some point.
Yeah.
It's inevitable.
Mm-hmm.
Because they might be a team that can win the National League.
A lot of injuries. Who you looking at? AL Cy Young.
Well,
Big news with Skubal.
Yeah. One guy went today. Now, he was pathetic in his last 2 starts. He bounced back today in great form, had 9K shutout ball. Brian Wu for the Mariners. He's around 30-1. The other guy is going tonight. It's Cam Schlittler's teammate, not named Max Fried.
Oh, the Vescursion.
You want a little Will Warren action?
Oh, Will Warren. Okay.
So on the season, 11 Ks per 9, a 2.39 ERA, the FIP 2.80. Excellent. He's going at home tonight against the Rangers. On the year, this guy has been phenomenal overall. ERA of 2.3, xFIP at 2.4, 12.2 Ks per 9. That's 34% of the batters that he has faced. The K prop is 6.5 tonight. That's the really good news there. The bad news for him is that opposing pitchers are 15-3 under with their K prop against the Rangers last 18 games.
That is strong.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Now, Eovaldi just got him last week. But this Yankee team is on fire. 15 of 17, 8 in a row at home, most home runs, tied for fewest homers allowed. They're on pace for a plus 144 differential, home run differential.
Oh.
The record's plus 120.
Jesus.
So keep it going. That's even more astonishing than John Sterling called 47% of all Yankee playoff games in history.
Oh, man, I never heard that.
That's awesome. So let's see if they can keep it going. A little risky, though, a little pricey, $1.80. But that's, come on. DeGrom, I gave you 3 runs early. Again, the Yerfie came in.
Sure did.
He always comes in, it seems, with DeGrom. But he couldn't hold the 3-0 lead, and the Yankees win again. Bats are hot. Judge going deep. A little pricey, but again, I would be concerned that Eovaldi shut him down last week. Maybe it's a positive because they saw him, and it's a quick turnaround.
Can I give you the most obvious bet since either Mayweather-McGregor or Kobe Bryant's last game?
Skeens?
Because you knew that he was going to score or take 40 shots in his last game. His points prop was in the low 20s for that night. No, it was Monday after John Sterling passed away.
Uh-huh.
Aaron Judge to homer in his first at-bat.
Yeah.
Which would have been a nice, handsome price. Guess when I thought of it?
After he went deep.
After he homered.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's good.
And I was talking about that angle with a buddy of mine who's a Yankees fan. Like, how do we approach the Yankees now because Sterling passed away? What are they going to do tonight? The consensus was like, well, they're going to pound him by 1,000 runs. And they covered every imaginable out.
Yeah.
And then he hits a home run. I'm like, that would have been nice to think of before the game started. This team they're a machine, man.
I know. How about Tampa, though? They can't run away and hide.
You're right.
What Tampa's doing. So that's a great parlay every day as well. And then throw the Cubs in there when they're at home. And they're $1.70 tonight as well. Kansas City's won 9 of 11.
Mm-hmm.
And
Suddenly
Ravens is going. He's $1.40, 7.5 the total. So who's going to take advantage of this now with Skubal out and the Tigers being a mess? And then again, what happened with Valdez and how bad the starters have been, that this division's wide open. And you can't, even though they're losing today, you can't even rule out the White Sox.
I was going to say
with
that
how they're playing.
That team's, who knows, they can make a run. They have some decent arms there, and that offense appears to be the real deal this season. Matt Olson to the track. That would have been home run, I think, number 14 on the year. I'd take a peek at him to lead the league in home runs this year. He's like 7 or 8 to 1.
Yep. I do like the Phillies. I forgot. I got to give out the Phillies because this goes in 5 minutes. 7-1 under Mattingly. Pitching's been great. 39-19 run differential. Harper heating up as well. 3 hits in each of the last 2 games. And I want to be on Wheeler too. So Phillies at home against the A's coming up, $1.65.
Yeah, A's can strike out quite a bit. And Wheeler has been like good since he came back in his he's only made a couple of starts this year. But he's another guy, much like Will Warren, that you want to look at when he's at home. Last year, in 12 starts, a 2.19 ERA and 12.5 Ks per 9. In 2024 at home, he made 16 starts, a 2.31 ERA with more than 10 Ks per nine. His prop tonight is 6.5. So does he get to 7? Will Warren get to 7 there? I'll give you some streaks that are going on right now in baseball as well. Opposing righties are 7-0 over against the Nats with their K prop. Ober is either 3.5 juice tonight with the Nats. Check that with the Twins, or 4.5 plus money. The Opta AI stats at vsin.com project him for 5+ tonight, and that's the second biggest edge per their numbers tonight. I mentioned the Rangers prop. Opposing pitchers 15-3 under there with the K prop. Starters are 10-3 under against Baltimore. Perez's prop is juiced over 5.5 or 6.5 plus money. And here's your big boy. Flaherty's been terrible for Detroit.
Yeah.
Starting pitchers are currently on a 10-0 under run with their K prop against the Red Sox. Flaherty's prop is 5.5.
Okay.
You got to pay some juice to go under.
Yep. Michaelis has been terrible also. And he goes against the Twins. Again, it seemed every Nats game goes over. And we got a tweet before the show. Kyle Stowers has 3 bombs and 3 for 3 with 3 home runs against Young.
Is that right?
Can that be? I didn't.
Sure.
I'll take your word for it.
Wow.
But he's plus 450 to go deep tonight. And that game's ready to go in 5 minutes as well.
Okay.
With Young going for Baltimore.
The most wins in the month of May. Here we are on May 6th. The Rays have not lost, as you said. They're 6-0. They've won every game. It's a good race so far. The Cubs are 5-0. The Royals are 5-0. And I have a bet on the Yankees. They're 5-0 going tonight, like you said, with Warren on the mound.
You want Skeens $1.20? Doesn't that seem cheap? Malinsky special let us down last night. Arizona pounded them.
Let me give you an angle.
But that's also Dustin's buddy, Vientos. 800 career against Lorenzen. Late game. They're still clearing off the snow in Colorado. 6:20 first pitch. 800 career against the guy. So get on Vientos props.
So here is a trend going back almost 250 games. Road favorites after being shut out in the previous game. Much like the Pirates are tonight. Shut out last night.
Yeah.
Now they're favored. Soroka's been, by the way, all over the map. Either he's striking out 10 and giving up nothing, or he's getting it completely blasted.
It's been good in that ballpark, though.
So road favorites after being shut out in the previous game, 149 and 83. That is 64%. Pirate spot tonight.
All right.
Yeah. You mentioned Reagan's. He's all against the Guardians. Reagan's now his last 2 starts, he had 11 strikeouts and allowed like nothing to happen in that game. And then the game after that, he gave up, I think it was 4 runs and he struck out 8. So at least his strikeout ability, he has found that form now again, because he's as good as almost anybody in baseball at striking out opposing batters. And that was not there to begin the year. And he appears to be kind of back to the guy that, previously made really good runs at it.
All right. Ball game. Damn. 3-1 Seattle. Braves finally lose a series. Condolences out there. I don't think Vientos is in the lineup either. Damn it. Bad beat. Follow the Money is brought to you by Francetic Tax Resolution. Winning bets are great, but the IRS still expects their cut. Paul Francetic, a tax resolution expert who spent over 20 years helping gamblers resolve tax problems and deal with IRS letters. He's offering a free gambler tax problem consultation to understand your situation and your options. GamblerTaxHelp.com. That's GamblerTaxHelp.com.
All right. I like today's mix, by the way, in baseball. When you have a full slate on a Wednesday, you can go like 7-day games and then play the rest of the games at night. And that's exactly what we have.
Yep. And I'm going to die on this hill. I know a lot of people disagree. That's why I don't like horse racing. Like Pat Forty just tweeted, adapt or die. Golden Tempo won't run in the Preakness. That race has become irrelevant. 6 of the last 8 years, no chance of a Triple Crown because the horse won't run in the Preakness. Change your calendar and schedule.
The sad state of affairs.
Silly.
Why are we suddenly doing this?
Oh, that's bad.
There's not enough pride.
Adapt or die. Well said, Paul.
And like the Triple Crown now means nothing to the people who own the horse.
Yep.
Up next, we'll get into our best bets for tonight in Pocket Plays here and Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
algorithm to determine the winner of any given college basketball game.
Someone gives you 10,000 to 1 on anything. You take it. Take it. Take it.
I bet you $20 I can get you gambling before the end of the day. No way. I'll give you 3 to 1 odds. Nope. 5 to 1. Nope. 10 to 1. You're right.
All right, trying to see if Vientos is in the lineup tonight. He's got to be. Got to find his props as he's owned Lorenzen. All right, let's go to work. Timberwolves plus a game and a half, minus 180. Hurricanes, Flyers, under 6, minus 170 Thursday.
Is that Wolves number still available?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Caesars, yes. DK, yes. Cat over assists, 4.5. Like it a lot, and like it even more with Embiid out. We won't have to worry about foul trouble. Stankoven, Carolina, over 2.5 shots on goal tomorrow. 6-0 over 2.5 in the playoffs. In trouble here. Man City to win the Prem. Looking good here. Tottenham to stay up. Big win over the weekend. All the pending. And a lot of new. Not that this is going to happen, but I just think the price is out of whack. And I know Harden had issues with the turnovers again. I think they'd like to have that trade back and keep Garland. But in any event, they went on the road after a tough Game 7 in a long series, and they came back down 11 and tied the game in the fourth quarter. Duren and Cade went to work, got the win, but there was a big free throw disparity. Donovan Mitchell needs to keep complaining and say, let me get to the line. And they lost Game 1 on the road. There shouldn't be this big of an overreaction, because this is right there for a Cavs-Knicks final in the East, and it could be a competitive series. Flyers to come back and win the series 14-1 against Carolina. That's only available at Will Hill Caesars, that price. That's crazy. Carolina held serve. I know your history and your road issues. Got to prove it to me. Phillies minus 170, underway at home against the A's, from playing great ball since Mattingly came aboard in the managerial change. I've seen this too many times. Number one, Knick fans going crazy, and then they stub their toe and bleep the bed. Number two, also you disrespect and take your opponent lightly when there's a big injury. Hard to go against them right now with what they've done in the last 4 playoff games. Sixers plus 10.5. Ducks to win the series plus 310. There's always shop these. This is at Will Hill. And I know it's bigger because it's a local team. They outplayed them in Game 1. The Knights got outplayed in the first 5 games against Utah. Hart was great in Game 1. Can he do it again? And this is still available. Plus 2.5 games, minus 150. I'm watching a different series. I'm watching a different team. So, who knows? It could be Colorado, Vegas. I don't like this Tortorella stuff, too, with the quotes about, I look at the analytics, I judge what's useful, what means more, all this, and he's also been very stubborn back in Hart, too. Might work out. It has thus far. He's been great the last 2 games. I still think this Anaheim power play can be dangerous and lethal like they were against Edmonton. And get your duck fries tonight if you're going to the game. Good luck.
Back at you, Paulie. Let's see here. Going back to Friday, I've been off the last couple of days. It was not a good Friday at all. The next time I make the case for a first 3 or first 5 under, you can tackle me outside of the studio, Paulie.
No good?
It's uncanny. It was a great pitching matchup. It was 3.5. Under was even money. It was 4-2 in the first inning. That was Woo's last start until today. That was a loser. Alvarez, great numbers against the Red Sox. They brought up a new pitcher for that game. Over 1.5 total bases. Incredible number. Doesn't matter. Loser. Timberwolves plus the 14. Won it outright. Jakob, boy.
That was 14.5. That's insanity how that series price and everything changed with the Ant.
Yep. Cada most rebounds. He fell 4 shy. That was 12-1. Bruins to win the series. No good. That was a loser. And I tried 0 goals. This goes back to Friday night again. 0 goals in the first period of all 3 of those games. The first one got there. 0-0.
Yes, it did.
Now, there was also a game that was 0-0 in regulation that night.
Yeah.
You telling me that's 100-1? That can't be right.
Probably
Is that
higher?
So that was the
it's
second.
Hard to find. I don't know. You have to go to FanDuel and some of this stuff and find exact score. When I go on Will Hill and Caesars, it's everything but that. They offer everything but 0-0. Huh. But Rich in Canada said 150, 200-1.
And that happened basically twice in 2 nights or 3 nights?
In the Tampa game, yeah. Yeah. Or no, yeah. I think 2 in Tampa. The series happened.
All right, you can ring that one up as a loser as well.
No, Flyers. That was it. Flyers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happened. You're right. There were 2 due to the series. Yeah.
Earlier today, PSG team total over 1.5. They scored in the 3rd minute of the game, and then that was it. That's a loser. What do you think the middle was there for their team total?
After a 5-4 first leg?
Yeah.
No kidding. You're a big boy.
You think I could have gotten under 2.5
Yes.
at a decent price?
Yes.
Yannick Sinner, French Open winner, pending plus 150. Most wins in this month. Rangers 36-1, Guardians 39, Yankees plus 1075. New stuff for tonight. I did it with Andre Drummond, over 8.5 rebounds plus 110. There's also this, by the way, which we did not get into. Mitchell Robinson is doubtful for tonight. He's got an illness. So without Embiid, Drummond's minutes figure to pick up anyway. He had a great. He scored. He was 14 and 13 in the one game without Embiid earlier this year. And now if Robinson doesn't play, okay.
Yeah.
The Timberwolves plus a 10.5. I don't know, man. They're good. The market still thinks that they're just. And by the way, I got Cat over 4.5 plus 120. I couldn't believe the numbers earlier today.
Where was that?
Caesars Will Hill.
Oh my God.
I put it up at vsin.com on the picks page right away.
Crazy.
Yeah.
You got to keep going, ride that till that loses. This has been a ATM and ladder that sucker.
Now, I have not bet triple-double, but they're still offering, like FanDuel's offering 40-1.
Yeah, there's big differences in the prices.
Oh, huge price,
Yes,
huge
shocking.
differences.
I'm looking right now. I see the Knicks series price $570 and then $720. I mean, stuff's all over the place with these prices. Like that Flyers series. Most places have the Flyers 8-9-1 to come back. Caesar's got 14. But let's keep it going, Kat. Where was it? 16, 29, 51, 30-point wins going back the last 4 playoff games for the Knicks.
Yeah.
That'd be
See,
something.
this is where we disagree. You were making the case for the Cavaliers. I think the Knicks take out the Cavaliers like in 5 games.
Well, it didn't go well in the regular season.
I think the Knicks absolutely want nothing to do with Detroit.
The physical team.
Yes.
Follow the money. Brought to you by Francetic Tax Resolution, because when you're betting regularly, the tax size matters. Paul Francetic, a tax resolution expert with over 20 years of experience helping gamblers solve tax problems, sportsbook winnings, casino play, poker, all of it. Right now, he's offering a free gambler tax problem consultation. He'll walk you through the situation, understand what the IRS is looking at, and see your options clearly. Calls 262-752-6292 or visit gamblertaxhelp.com, 262-752-6992 or gamblertaxhelp.com.
Good stuff. I've told you this before, Paulie, that when you have a little fella now running around the house, catching up on TV shows is like pretty difficult to do. So I'm always behind on shows. The one show that I'm finally caught up on, I'm a big fan of The Boys on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
I have loved Homelander. Like he's one of my.
Give it a shot. I only watch a couple episodes.
So for those of you who are listening or watching the show, and you also like are caught up on The Boys, is it my imagination or has Soldier Boy taken over as like by far and away the best character on the show? And I cannot wait. They're getting this right. There's going to be a spinoff around his character, which makes me as giddy as I've ever been, I think, because that dude's character, Soldier Boy, I need him on the screen. Every time that he's on, my world stops and I'm like, okay, Sebastian has to get his diaper changed. Don't care. I need to know what Soldier Boy's going to be saying next.
Did you watch To Make a Killing?
No.
Okay.
Was that on Prime as well?
It's on Amazon Prime. It's a unique movie. It's pretty good with Powell.
Glenn Powell?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah. I thought it was good.
I like him too, by the way. I think he's pretty good.
Yeah. The other one too, I'm waiting. They were supposed to do a movie, Les Grossman. And then it was back. It was off. It's back on. It's like the character in Tropic Thunder with Tom Cruise.
Well, they have to make that.
They've got to make that happen. But this guy's so damn busy, and like most people are saying, first thing first, do Edge of Tomorrow too. Get that going.
Well, I mean,
there's so much stuff sitting there.
Yeah, well, he doesn't have to worry about making another Mission Impossible after how the last one went.
Yeah.
So, and that was going to be it anyway.
Well, he's been focused on that big. They did, so many of those, 7 or 8 of them.
What's the level of panic tonight? How does it go for Knicks fans tonight if they lose the game?
They'll still be okay, but it's
not going to be sky is falling?
Not like it was with Atlanta. They were down 2-1. But It's right there for him. Come on. Go up 2-0. And then who knows his status the rest of the playoffs?
Of course.
That's the thing with this guy. It's 2 different injuries. But that's hilarious. I mentioned it Monday. He hasn't played 6 straight games since 2023. This would have been the 6th straight game. Out.
Poor Sixers fans, man.
Yep. Boy, it's bad news with that contract.
Oh. All right, that's it for us. Stay tuned. Prime Time is next. Dustin Sweetelson along with Will Hill. They're going to take you through the entire live betting evening. And you can wake up tomorrow morning early with VSiN by the books at 7 a.m. Eastern. Good luck with the bets tonight. We'll see you.